Next, let us find out the transformation matrix of SCARA manipulator. It's not transformation, it's transformation matrix. So let me take this transformation matrix of SCARA manipulator. So here we are having the structure of the SCARA manipulator, in which we can see that it is two revolute joints followed by a prismatic joint. If you remember, we also call this as the pick and place robot. Okay. Anyway, so we have to first draw the axis. If you remember, we had said that the axis is the first thing that we have to draw in DH convention. So based on that, let's first draw for the first joint is revolute. So the Z axis will be here. For the second case, the Z axis will be in, again, this is a revolute joint. So I will draw it basically here, and I will write this as Z1. You might be thinking, why I have not written Z0 here. That is because there is something that is going to shift this thing, so we'll see that. Okay, next is, from here we are having the third joint, which is a prismatic joint, and we know that for the case of a prismatic joint, the Z axis will be in the direction of motion, which here it is actually facing down. So based on that, we have drawn that particular axis. This is going to be your Z2, and finally we are going to draw the last Z axis for the end effector, which will be in the same direction as the previous one. So this is going to be Z3. Now based on that, we have to draw the Z axis, X axis. Now here is where the issue comes. If this is the direction of, the Z axis, if I draw it here, the problem that comes is that, if I'm going to draw the X axis, where will I draw the X axis? I may draw the X axis somewhere, in this direction, and in that case, this offset, this extra offset, because of this 90 degree, is going to create a problem for us. So generally, for the case of a SCARA model, what is adopted is we take this Z axis to the top. So instead of drawing it there, we draw our Z axis for the first joint here, and that we name it as, let's say, with this color I will name it as Z0. That is where the first axis is. Nothing else is changing. All I have done is I have shifted this origin from here to this angle 90 degree point, because unlike other links that we have studied, here the link between joint 1 and joint 2 is having a 90 degree portion here. So now I have got the Z0, Z1. So I should be able to draw the X axis. The X axis should be, if both of them are parallel, I can draw it anywhere. So what I will do is I will choose it to be drawn in this point. So this is going to be my X1. Based on that, now I can draw my X0. So this is going to be my X0. So now I am having Z1 and Z2. As you can see, both of them are actually in the opposite direction. Z1 and Z2, they are in opposite direction, but they are still 90 degrees. They are parallel to each other, and we know that from the case of parallel Z axis, we will try to draw the next X axis just in the same direction as the previous one. So I will draw it in this axis. I will draw it here, and I will name that as X2. Similarly, in the next one, I have to draw it for the case of end effector. So I will just try to take it in the same direction. So this is going to be my X3. So now I have drawn all the 4 frames. Now I have to fill the link parameter table. So this is the link parameter table. link parameter table, and based on the value of I, which in our case is going to be 1 2 3, I will try to fill up what are the values of theta I, di, ai, and alpha I. So let us look at the first one. Before that, let me again try to put some length over here. So this length I am not going to mind. I'm just going to say that this length I am going to write it as L1. So this one I will write it as L1 length. This length I am going to totally write it as L2 length. And if I want, I can even write the L3, but let me say that there is no L3 written. Okay, so suppose only L1 and L2 length is given, so I will take this as 0, this length as 0. I will take this length also as 0. Anyway, there is D3 here. So now I have to fill this first row. So first row, what is to be done to make x0 parallel to x1? Both are already parallel. So I will make theta 1 as the only angular shift. See, because this was 0, I took this all the way to the top. So now I don't have to worry what I have to write here. So, because this is 0, if this would have been some 5, I could have still kept this one at the base in the joint 1. Okay, now anyway, because this distance is 0 and similarly this is also 0, so because it is 0 here in the first joint, I have taken this up. So now we are having di is for making x0 and x1 collinear, which already it is, so this will be 0. Now to move in x0 direction, so that both the origins meet, for that I have to move a distance L1. Z0 and Z1 are already in the same direction, they will be overlapped after moving L1 distance, so alpha I will become 0 degrees. Going for the second one, x1 and x2, they are already parallel, but there is a variable theta 2 which is a joint variable. And then is there any need to move di? No, because already x1 and x2 are collinear, so this is 0. Now to make both of them overlap, which one? x1 and x2 overlap, I will have to move a distance ai of length L2. In that case, now Z1 and Z2, both of them are in opposite direction. Though they are in the same line, they are in opposite direction. So I have to move with respect to x2, I have to move in clockwise or anti-clockwise. Both is 180 degrees, so I will take anti-clockwise. I will move Z1, I will have to move 180 degrees, so this is plus 180 degrees. Then the last is any movement I have to give. So before the frame 2 and frame 3, x2 and x3 are already parallel, so there is no need for this one. Theta I is going to be 0. D is how much it has to move. Since the link length I have already given it as 0, what I will do is I will write only the joint variable, which is d3 star, and then once I do that, x1, x2 and x3 will be already overlapped, so there is no ai, and z3 and z2 are also overlapped, so this is going to be 0. So the link parameter table is also completed. Now based on that I can write the transformation matrix by first writing a1, a2, a3 based on this particular formula, and then multiplying all of them together to get the transformation matrix of scalar manipulator. I will leave that as an assignment exercise. Thank you.